I did not know that I was that strong until surviving you took quite this long. You were the hardest thing I've ever done, and I came out the other side. I won. Surviving you made me who I am. Surviving you was the hardest plan, but I'm still standing, and that has to count. Surviving you, the highest mountain mount. I don't thank you for the pain, I'm not there yet, but I do thank myself for not giving yet. Surviving is a form of being brave that doesn't always get the credit it gave. I survived, and that's everything. I survived you, now watch me begin. There were nights I truly thought I'd break, disappear beneath the weight of every memory, every empty room, every silence filled with you. I carry grief like shattered glass inside my chest for months that passed. Still waking up with trembling hands, still trying hard to understand. Surviving you was learning how to breathe again. Surviving you without collapsing in the end. And nobody saw the wars I fought alone, just to make this body feel like home. People celebrate dramatic victories, gold medals, lights, and histories, but no one claps for getting out of bed. When heartbreak lives inside your head, no audience for surviving nights where staying alive became the fight. No trophy for resisting calls or not replying alcohol, but I know what it took for me to claw my way back gradually, to rebuild routines from the dust, to trust my own heart again enough. And maybe that's real strength after all. Not never break and never fall, but waking up each day despite the ache, and choosing not to disappear from pain. Surviving you made me softer, not hard. Surviving you left permanent scars, but scars are proof the wound closed too, and healing lived its way through. I used to think survival meant revenge, proving somehow I had changed into someone untouched and strong, someone who moved on too fast, too long. But survival actually looks small, making coffee, answering calls, taking showers, cleaning rooms, slowly returning to the human world again. Soon it looked like crying less each week, like finally sleeping peacefully, like hearing your name and not collapsing inside, like no longer begging memory to rewind. And one day I laughed without forcing sound, one whole afternoon without thinking about the shape of your hands, your leaving face, and I realized healing had quietly taken place. Surviving you was not a single moment clear. Surviving you was surviving year by year, tiny victories nobody could see, until I slowly became me. I still carry pieces of what happened then, certain fears beneath my skin, but they no longer control my days. They're just reminders of what I escaped, because loving you almost erased my name, turned my whole world into your flame. And losing you felt like losing air, like nothing meaningful remained there. But somehow underneath the wreck, in you. Taught me how to fight, not with anger, not with blame, but by rebuilding from the pain. So no, I don't thank you for the hurt or for making love feel cursed, but I thank the version of myself who kept breathing through hell, because she deserved to see this day. The moment grief loosened away, the moment survival turned into rebirth, the moment I relearned my worth. I did not know that I was that strong until healing took this long. But here I am, still standing through. I survived the loss of you. Right here, feels so brand new. A voltage every time I see you, energy rising, nothing we can do. Electric touch, slow and true, just me and you. Neon lights in your eyes, burning slow through the night. Electric love, we just ride in the glow, feel alive. They told me feeling was a weakness early on. Blink it back and keep your armor on. I spent decades being strong instead of true. Forgot that feeling deeply is a breakthrough. I learned to swallow every ache, smile politely through the break, build a version heart of stone so nobody would know. But every wall I built inside only gave the hurt a place to hide, and every tear I never cried stayed alive behind my eyes. Permission to feel, I give it to myself today. Permission to feel every single shade of gray. The joy, the pain, the grief, the wonder, all permission to feel, permission to fall. Permission to feel. Funny breathing free. Crying doesn't mean I've lost the war. It means I feel what could be worth more. The people who feel everything the most are not the broken ones. They're not the ghosts. They're the ones who truly live, who still have something left to give, who let their hearts stay open wide even after being hurt inside. And maybe strength was never cold. Maybe courage means letting go of every mask I used to wear, pretending I was never scared. Permission to feel, I give it to myself today. Permission to feel every single shade of gray. The joy, the pain, the grief, the wonder, all permission to feel, permission to fall. Feel it all. Feel it all. The full catastrophe. That's not weakness, that's your poetry. Every scar becomes a line in the story of your life. Every feeling that survives proves your heart is still alive. Permission to feel. No more hiding anymore. Permission to feel everything I'm living for. You keep me like a secret in your chest, not hidden out of shame but out of best protection of the thing too rare to share with the world that wouldn't handle it with care. Kept like something precious and unseen, kept between the lines of what we mean. I don't need the world to know my name. Kept, and I love you just the same. There's a tenderness in being someone's private world, the one they come to, and then everything is stripped of performance down to just the two of us without a crowd. Keep me close, don't explain me to the rest. Some love is only perfect when it's unexpressed. I love the way your voice gets soft at night, like I'm the only thing that still feels right. No cameras, no announcements, no display, just quiet love that never needs to say. And maybe other people wouldn't get how something hidden feels this intimate. But there is safety in the life we made, far from attention, far from being named, kept like letters never shown, kept like somewhere safe called home. I don't need validation from the crowd. Your silence loves me loud. You reach for me in crowded rooms, so small, barely touching me at all. Just enough to let me know you're there. A language built from invisible care, and every little glance across the room feels more romantic in the gloom than all the public declarations done for strangers staring at someone, because what we have survives untouched. No pressure pulling us apart too much, no proving anything to anyone, just two hearts beating when the day is done. Sometimes I think the purest things survive away from flashing lights and public eyes, like flowers growing quietly in shade, protected by the dark where they were made, like whispers after dark, like fire without sparks. And maybe secrecy can still be true, and all I want is you. I know some people need the world to see, need proof of love publicly, but every sacred thing I've ever known was strongest when it quietly was grown. The way you memorize the things I fear, the way you always pull me near. When life becomes too heavy on my chest, you hold me without needing to impress. And every night your arms become a place where all the noise just fades away. No audience, no pressure, no disguise, just honest love behind closed eyes. Keep me hidden from what would make us break. Some things are softer when untouched by display. You tell me things you never tell your friends, secrets with unfinished ends, and I hold them gently in the dark like fragile pieces of your heart. I think there's beauty in being chosen quietly, love deeply but privately, like I belong somewhere beyond the noise, past temporary trends and louder voices, kept like a prayer inside your mind, kept like something hard to find. And even if nobody knows we exist, I still feel every kiss. The world has ways of ruining what won't fall within, so keep me where your real self always lives. In the silence, intimacy gives, kept like moonlight through the blinds, kept like memories frozen in time. No spot could improve what this became. I love you all the same. And if someday the whole world disappears, if all that's left are quiet rooms and years, I'd still choose this invisible kind of love over anything loud enough, because the softest things survive the longest way. The words we never had to say, the fingertips across my skin at night, the feeling everything is finally right. Keep me close where the noise can't interfere. Some love grows stronger the less the world can hear. You keep me like a secret in your chest, and honestly I think that's for the best, because the purest parts of what we are could never survive becoming public art, kept by your heartbeat and your touch, kept, and somehow that's enough. I never needed the whole world to see, as long as you keep choosing me. Cigarette cigarette and rain. Window fog from cigarette and cold. Watching rain turn everything to gold. Your jacket's on the chair beside the door. I don't know what we're waiting anymore. The city's drowning in the night. Street lights blur beneath the light, and every drop against the glass feels like a memory that won't pass. You sit quiet across the room, wrapped inside the smoke and gloom, and I can feel the ending near, but neither of us says it here. Cigarette and rain, that's all we are tonight. Cigarette and rain, burning in the quiet light. We'll lash away together, slowly disappear. Cigarette and rain, I want you here. Cigarette and rain, stay with me tonight. You light another and I watch the smoke rise and disappear like every oath we spoke. The rain won't stop, I hope it never does, because when it stops we have to face what was. Every silence feels too loud, like goodbye hanging in the clouds. Your fingers tremble when we touch, like love was always too much. The window shakes beneath the storm, but your body still feels warm. And for a moment we pretend this night will never end. Cigarette and rain, that's all we are tonight. Cigarette and rain, burning in the quiet light. We'll lash away together, slowly disappear. Cigarette and rain, I want you here. Let it rain all night, let it flood the street. One more cigarette before we have to leave. Hold me close while the thunder speaks, before the morning comes and takes you from me. Cigarette and rain, slowly disappear. Cigarette and rain, I want you here. You didn't break me all at once and loud. You were the water wearing through the cloud, soft and patient, patient as the sea. You eroded slowly all of me. Soft destruction is still the end. Soft destruction still doesn't mend. Gentle doesn't mean that you're not gone. Soft destruction takes just as long. The cruelest things are sometimes done with care, with soft hands. hands and an almost tender stare, demolished by the kindest kind of harm. A soft destruction wrapped in someone's arm. Destroy me loudly if you must starve. Destruction is the deepest cut. If you would scream, maybe I would have known. Maybe I would have left before alone. But your damage came in lower tones, in tiny shifts too small to fully own. You loved me while unloving me at once. Stay just enough to keep me caught, not enough to make me whole again, just enough to stop me from giving in. Soft destruction looks peaceful from outside. Soft destruction knows exactly how to hide. No shattered glass, no slammed doors in the rain, just slow erosion underneath the pain. You stopped asking how my day had been, stopped looking fully when I walked in, stopped reaching for my hand at night in ways so small I missed the signs outright. And every little absence by itself looked harmless sitting on the shelf. But grief compounds in quiet rooms until one day nothing blooms. I kept making excuses for the cracks, calling distance stress and pulling back, calling loneliness maturity, calling your fading love stability. Because loud heartbreak is easier to name than tenderness slowly changing shape. It's harder to admit somebody kind can slowly disappear from your life. Destruction leaves no evidence behind. Soft destruction makes you question your own mind, because nobody sees bruises made by drift or notices the weight of tiny shifts. You never meant to hurt me, may be true, but accidental drowning kills you too. And love neglected still decays, no matter how softly it fades away. The worst part was how gentle you remained, still kissing me while pulling away, still saying love you out of habit and care, while emotionally vanishing there. So I stayed longer than I should, because nothing looked completely ruined. No fire, no betrayal, no dramatic scene, just emptiness growing in between. And emptiness is difficult to fight, because it doesn't arrive overnight. It settles quietly inside the skin until you forget who you've been. Soft destruction turned me into less. Soft destruction dressed itself as tenderness. And by the time I recognized the loss, most of me was already gone. I remember begging for one honest fight, to completely stay, leaving me suspended every day. And maybe that's why healing took so long, because nothing clearly looked wrong. How do you recover from a wound that arrived disguised as something warm? How do you explain to someone new that gentle people hurt you too? That sweetness isn't always safe, that kindness sometimes still erases. Soft destruction changed the way I trust. Soft destruction turned love fragile to touch. Now every quiet moment makes me fear someone disappearing while still here. But I'm learning now that softness itself was never the thing that dealt the damage into who I became. Neglect and silence wore that name. Real love stays present in the room, it doesn't slowly consume. The person standing there beside, waiting faithfully while they dissolve inside. And now when someone touches me with care, I search their eyes to see if they're really there. Not halfway leaving, not almost gone, not loving me while they said heaven had a gate again, a specific face, but heaven found me in a darker, louder place below the city where the baseline shook the floor. I found my sacred on the wrong side of the door. Neon halos fill the room, smoke and shadows cut the gloom, and every broken soul inside was finally done with having to hide. No saints here dressed in white, just tired hearts surviving night, searching for a place to heal, somewhere honest, somewhere real. Wrong side of heaven, right side of a lie. Wrong side of heaven, where the real ones try. If this is the wrong side, I don't want the right. Wrong side of heaven, I'll stay in the night. Wrong side of heaven. Under flashing lights my congregation wears their darkness proud. We worship bass and truth spoken loud. We found our grace not in the light of day, but in the honest dark where misfits pray. Every drop becomes release, every rhythm brings us peace, and every scar we used to fear feels accepted down here. No judgment in the underground, only lost souls being found. Hands up like a holy sign while the kick drum keeps perfect time. Wrong side of heaven, right side of a lie. Wrong side of heaven, where the real ones thrive. If this is the wrong side, I don't want the right. Wrong side of heaven, I'll stay in the night. Heaven is wherever you feel most true. Mine is underground, where I found you beneath the smoke, beneath the sound. I finally found salvation in the underground. Wrong side of heaven, right side of a lie. Wrong side of heaven, where we survive. It's 4 a.m. and I've been staring at your name for 20 minutes, maybe that is too much time to think before you say the thing that 4 a.m. demands today. 4 a.m. confession, what the tired say. 4 a.m. confession, truth comes out this way. The filter's all went offline hours back. 4 a.m. confession, I want you back. By morning I'll deny the message sent. Blame the hour, claim I didn't quite mend. But right now at this lonely, honest hour, truth is all the darkness and the power. Send it, don't delete it this time. 4 a.m. truth is still truth past midnight. The room is dark except the phone glow light. Your picture shining softly in the night. And every unsent message in my chest feels heavier the longer it's suppressed. I type your name, then backspace it again. Like somehow silence helps the pain. But loneliness gets louder after 2. And every road inside my head leads you. 4 a.m. confession, no hiding anymore. 4 a.m. confession, knocking at your door. I spent all day pretending I moved on, but midnight proved me wrong. The city outside barely makes a sound, just empty streets and thoughts spinning around. And somehow in the quiet I can hear every little thing I miss about you near. The way you'd answer half asleep at night, your tired voice saying it's alright. The way you made the darkness feel less deep, like love itself was helping me to breathe. Now all I have are conversations saved, tiny little ghosts I never erased. And every sentence pulls me back again to where we were before the bitter end. I know that morning changes how we feel, makes nighttime honesty seem less real. But maybe exhaustion strips away disguise and lets the truest version finally rise. 4 a.m. confession, what the lonely do. 4 a.m. confession, still in love with you. No alcohol, no party, no excuse, just me with nothing left to lose. I wonder if you're also still awake, staring at the ceiling while hearts break. Maybe holding back the same reply, maybe missing me but scared to try. Because daylight turns us into pride, makes vulnerable hearts run and hide. But nighttime pulls the walls down one by one, until there's nowhere left to run. So here I am, thumb shaking over send. One small message could change everything again. I remember every late night call we had, every dream, every fear, every laugh. How somehow after midnight we'd become more honest than we were beneath the sun. You knew the parts of me I couldn't say, the darkness I kept locked away. And now at 4 a.m. they all return alongside every bridge we let burn. 4 a.m. confession, I still check your page. 4 a.m. confession, I still feel your shape inside the empty side of this old bed, inside every thought inside my head. The hardest part about this out at night is knowing maybe you were right. Maybe loving us was never safe. Maybe timing turned us into fate. before dawn. 4 a.m. confession, I still want us strong. And if you feel even half the way I do, then maybe midnight still belongs to two. We left so many sentences unfinished, so many nights we started but didn't end. I keep the drafts of everything I almost sent. Unfinished love is love that doesn't mend. Every pause still lingers in the air, like your ghost is waiting there. And every word I couldn't say still keeps me awake. The records spin but never land, like time slipping through my hands. And every memory comes undone before it reaches anyone. Unfinished, like a song without its end. Unfinished, like a letter I once said. We are a beautiful unfinished thing that I keep returning to. Unfinished, still unfinished with you. Unfinished, still holding on to you. Half a conversation on my phone, half a life that we were building on our own. I circle back to every open door, unable to walk through and close no more. Every room still feels the same, quietly repeating your name. And every night I tell myself, tomorrow I'll ask for help. But morning comes and nothing changes, only different kinds of aching. And every road I try to take still somehow leads to yesterday. Unfinished, like a song without its end. Unfinished, like a letter I won't send. We are a beautiful unfinished thing that I keep returning to. Unfinished, still unfinished with you. Let me finish this one last time. Let me write the ending of your name and mine. Even if it breaks me, even if it's true, I can't keep living half inside of you. Unfinished, like a fading melody. Unfinished, still unfinished with you. I was flatlined before you found me here, going through the motions year by year, existing without living, just a ghost, until you showed me what I'd wanted most. Hard lines, you drew them on my chest. Hard lines, you woke up, what was the rest? I didn't know that I was barely there. Hard lines, you reminded me to care. You put your hand above the silence where my heartbeat should have been but wasn't there. And something in your touch rewrote the code, and suddenly I felt the whole load. I spent so many nights inside my head, talking to the dark instead, building walls no one could enter through, until they all collapsed for you. before you colored every shade. Even silence felt unbearable somehow, but your voice can calm me now. And every scar I tried so hard to hide, you traced them gently one by one tonight. Like you could see the parts I couldn't say, and still believed I could be brave. You held me close when I was falling fast, like you could erase my past. And every broken piece inside of me started becoming something free. Maybe love isn't always loud. Maybe healing feels this quiet somehow. Hard lines, you stitched me back again. Hard lines flowing through every vein. I was drifting far beyond repair. Hard lines, then you found me there. Hard lines, every breath I take. Hard lines, every move you make. You revive the parts that disappeared. Now your heartbeat is the one I hear. There were days I almost disappeared, smiling while consumed by fear, walking through a life I couldn't feel, wondering if pain was all that's real. Then your fingers brushed against my hand, like somehow you could understand every silent word I couldn't say, every reason I had lost my way. And now the emptiness I used to know feels so distant and so cold, because you filled the spaces in my soul that nobody else could ever hold. Keep your hand there, please don't let me fade. You brought me back, now don't let me break. Tell me this won't disappear. Tell me you'll still be here. Hard line, beating under moonlight. Hard line, keeping me alive tonight. Every second closer next to you makes me feel like something true. Hard line, I was numb for so long. Hard line, now you're my song. You turn static into symphonies. Now your love is living inside me. And if one day the darkness calls again and all my shadows start to win, promise me you'll place your hand right here and remind me why I'm still here. Because your touch became my oxygen, the only place I breathe again. And every fragile part inside my chest still reaches for you when it rests. I never knew a soul could restart until your fingers touch my heart. Hard lines etched into my skin. Hard lines letting light back in. I was fading like a dying star, then you loved me exactly as I am. Hard lines pulling me from the deep. Hard lines waking what was asleep. And even if the whole world disappears, I'll still follow where your heartbeat steers. So keep your hand there, right over my scars. You heal the distance between who I was and if my pulse ever slows again. Just say my name, every day. When the pain gets too loud for the room, I turn the speakers up to drown the gloom. I let the music take what I can't hold and bleed everything into the fold. Every bass line shakes my chest, pulling all the hurt from deep within. And every lyric I can't say finds another way to escape. The lights go low, the walls dissolve inside the sound where I evolve. No need to hide what cuts so deep. The music keeps what I can't keep. I bleed into the music. Let it carry what I can. I bleed into the music till there's nothing in my hands. Take my tears, my fears, my everything, and turn them into song. I bleed into the music, where I belong. Bleed into the music, all night long. Every broken heart has made a masterpiece. Every scar became a new release. The music doesn't waste a single ache. It turns it all to beauty in its wake. Every drop becomes relief. Every rhythm heals a piece. And every time the chorus hits, I remember how to live. The dance floor turns to therapy for every soul like me. Lost people under flashing lights, trying to survive the night. I'll bleed into the music. Let it carry what I can. I'll bleed into the music till there's nothing in my hands. Take my tears, my fears, my everything, and turn them into song. I bleed into the music, where I belong. Bleed a little more, let it all come out. The music holds the things you can't live without. No, no shame, no disguise, just truth beneath the lights. And every whoop becomes alive. I bleed into the music, where I belong. I bleed into the music till the pain is gone. Same cafe, same corner every Thursday. You order black and I've memorized your wordplay. With the barista who knows your name by now. I know it too, I just don't know how to allow. You sit beneath the window light, like you belong to every night. Every time you laugh out loud, the whole room fades into the crowd. I pretend to read my phone while secretly watching you alone. Like maybe someday and dark like smoke. That's the contradiction that you inside me, where the quiet things are kept. The flavors that I dreamed of while I slept. Honey and smoke, that's your taste on my lips. Honey and smoke at the end of my fingertips. Sweet enough to keep me, dark enough to crave. Honey and smoke, I'm beautifully, I'm beautifully, I'm beautifully, I'm beautifully. You're dripping to the corners of my mind, leaving golden traces of your kind. And the smoke curls up and follows close behind. The sweetest contradiction I can find. Pour a little more, let me taste the dark. Honey and smoke, light me like a spark. Light me like a spark. Light me like a spark. The room is cold, but I am burning still. Your memory runs hot against my will. Turn the heating up or turn you down. Either way, I'm lost without a sound. Warm blood, cold room, that's the contradiction of you. Warm blood, cold room, hot heart in a frozen view. You left the cold behind you, but you took the heat. Warm blood, cold room, incomplete. I wear your sweater in the frozen air. It smells like you, and that's enough right there. Pretend your warmth is still inside the seams. Cold rooms and warm delusions and warm dreams. Come back and bring the warmth. The room is waiting cold, and I am warm and stubborn, getting very old. Late at night, the windows start to shake. Every little silence keeps me awake. I trace your shadow moving down the hall, even knowing you're not there at all. Coffee cools untouched beside the bed, like all the conversations left unsaid.